Welcome back to another episode of Bowhunt or Die. Luckily, Justin did allow me back to have my seat. Tommy didn't fully kick me out of here
It just
yet,
wasn't the same without you.
Well, thank you, Justin. It actually brings a smile to my face. A little goosebumps.
Tommy tried. He did his best, but nobody can replace Todd Graff.
Well, I will say one thing's for certain. After my lovely encounter with poison ivy, I have a newfound respect for that stuff, for sure. I tell you what, I mean, I used to kind of give people a hard time and, I don't know, maybe even call them wimpy. And
yeah, well.
I mean, after getting it, I'm not going to show you what this looks like. You know, I don't want you all to see my big, strong abs,
All the ladies.
I don't want, exactly. I got my six-pack I'm going to keep protected here.
Your wife might get jealous.
But, I mean, I'll tell you what, that was unbelievable. I bought everything that the store had to offer.
Yeah.
And I still ended up in the doctor, and I finally just gave in.
Probably should have just done that from day one. That's my advice. If you get really bad poison ivy, I've never had it personally, but just go to the doctor.
Don't
you
do what
want
I
to
did.
Suffer like Todd did for a week before going into the doctor. So thankfully, it looks like you're on the mend.
Oh man,
you're getting better.
I'm more than on it. I tell you what, I woke up this morning. That wind was blowing. It's starting to get chilly out there.
It was in the 50s here last night.
It was feeling good, and you know, this episode may not be one of the most epic episodes that we've ever had, but I'll tell you what, seeing the development of all the teammates and the different bucks they're chasing, I mean, you can't help to not get excited. I mean, it's just, there's something about it. I mean, some of these segments are long, but it's fun to be able to see all the different bucks that the different people are chasing. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, and the different areas that they're hunting and the different history that they've had with these deer. I mean, it is truly amazing to me to look back, you know, over the years and just see how hunting has evolved, how trail cameras have changed the way that we hunt, you know, filming our hunts. Now we have, you know, years of history with a deer when we try to pattern them and know where they live and pick up their sheds. I mean, it used to be just you'd go out in the woods and hope something showed up, you know, and if you saw a deer more than once ever in your life, you were lucky. But it's kind of added a whole new dimension to the cat and mouse game of hunting. So I guess we're going to get started with the man who always delivers the monster bucks in the summertime, Tyler Rector. He's Central Illinois, Fulton County down there.
And it's not just in the summer, Justin. He does a pretty good job when the season gets going,
tell you
too.
What,
but
summertime velvet picks, you can't beat them. So let's check in with Tyler now and see a couple of these monsters he's going to be hunting this fall.
Well, hey guys, here we are. It's the 2015 season, and we're at it again. We've been running around like crazy guys, trying to get food plots done, tree stands hung, and purchased a couple redneck blinds that go up on the stands. So we've been trying to get those set. Just trying to get everything in order before mid-August when our baby's due. So trying to get a hit list put together. I haven't even had time to check my cameras in a month. I'm gonna go check some tonight. Hopefully the stealth cams have been rolling that footage. So we've got a bunch of them out this summer, trying to get the best pictures we can of my hit list guys. So started off, we got Early Bird. He's a 5-year-old, 175, 180 inch typical 7x5. Passed him a lot last year. We've seen him the year before that, and he's finally old enough to shoot. Hopefully I get some velvet footage of him before he strips it. We call him Early Bird because he's actually about a month ahead of every other buck. I can't explain why. He's been like that since he was 1.5 years old. I've watched him grow for the last 4.5 years, and he just grew into an Illinois giant. So he'll be shedding velvet here probably in about 2 to 3 weeks. He's about 2 or 3 weeks before every other buck does. And so that'll be interesting to see if we can get some pictures of that. He's already hitting the mock scrapes a little bit, right underneath the tree stand. So kind of hoping I can repeat what I did last year with those things. They're unbelievable. If you guys haven't been putting these mock scrapes out from Tinks, do it early. I put mine out in June and try to fill them up about every 10 days. Sometimes I don't even get time to fill them up, but if you do it a couple times in a row and the deer start hitting them, the deer actually start urinating in those scrapes and doing all the work for you. So hopefully it works out. We got him hitting them. We got baby G1, he's coming into this spot. He's a 4-year-old that's probably pushing 170. Honestly, I hope I never see this deer because I'll either fall out of the tree and get caught by my hunter safety system, or I will have to shoot him. I really don't like shooting 4-year-olds that could possibly be 200-inch deer someday, but this deer is the coolest deer that I've probably ever seen within the last 6 or 7 years anyway. And his genetics are unbelievable. I hope that he can spread his genes around a little bit. Who knows, maybe late season I'll get an itchy trigger finger and try to shoot this guy, but I don't know, it's hard to tell. But we got a buck that you'll probably see on hit list for the next couple years. We think he's only 3, but I call him Chuck Norris. He's a big 8 with ginormous brow tines. I got a little bit of velvet footage of him early and I thought it was baby G1, but then I started getting pictures of both of them in the same spot and I was like, oh, they're different deer. So call him Chuck Norris. We don't know where he came from. Last year we thought he was running around. He was a 2-year-old and he blew up this year. I mean, like 30 inches. So we think he's only just a big giant 3-year-old. It's gonna be hard to not shoot him if he walks by me because he's so cool. But hopefully in a couple of years he might, you know, really be something special. We got Thumbs Up. He was 165-inch 10-point last year, mainframe 10, with absolutely just perfect genetics. He's real wide, decent mass, and he had 14-inch G2s, and they just kind of just staggered down perfect, kind of curls in like crab claws, and just a beautiful deer. Last year we thought he was 3. This year we're pretty sure he's 4, if not older, and he's probably gonna be pushing the 180 mark. And the crazy thing is all 4 of these bucks are living in 8 acres of woods. I mean, they're in there about 5 days a week. So if they keep doing that, which it's still plenty early, we got 2 months left until season start. But I don't know who's gonna win the battle when they start stripping velvet and one of them claims that home. So it could be interesting. I hope it's early bird. I got more history with him, and hopefully we'll get an arrow in him this fall. We got Zeus. He's a big 8 with a split G2 on one side. Last year he showed up one picture during the rut, and it was kind of a really bad picture, and we thought, what deer is this? And never seen him again. Never got another picture of him. And I just thought, well, he's probably just passing through. Well, then I found a shed to him on that food plot out in the field when I was spraying. He was going through a food plot, and he's a giant. I mean, 155, 160-inch 8-pointer with a split G2. And this year he's grew a little bit. I think he was probably 5 last year. This year he's 6, and he probably stayed the same, maybe a little bit more height to him, but he's just, I mean, an unbelievable 8-pointer. Probably pushing 160s, maybe bigger. So kind of hoping that he sticks around where he's at. And overall, we got a lot of nice deer running around this year. We got a ton of 3-year-olds, beautiful 3-year-olds. We got a lot of 2-year-olds running around, a few 4-year-olds, maybe 10%, 20% are 4-year-olds. We're still on the bounce back from EHD from 2 years ago, so when that wiped out a lot of the 3 to 4 to 5 to 6-year-old deer, we just don't have the numbers of mature deer. What I call mature, 5 and older. So, you know, the first 5-year-old I see, I don't care what score is, I'm gonna shoot him. And wish me luck. Wish you guys all the luck in the world come this year. I might not be in the tree too much early October due to harvesting corn and soybeans, and baby girl coming here in a couple weeks. So I'm gonna have a busy fall, and hopefully you guys can put some antlers on the ground. Send your pictures into bowhunting.com, put them on the show. And if you guys have any questions on food plots or anything else that you want to ask me, my username is bowhunting or bowhunter42 on the bowhunting.com forums. Just shoot me a message or whatever you want to do, and I usually try to answer them pretty quick. So good luck, guys. Bowhunter die.
Well, Todd, Todd, as we said, Tyler definitely knows how to deliver on the summertime hit list footage. It'll be interesting to see, if those deer stick around come fall. I mean, he's definitely put in the time and the effort. I mean, he's setting up those redneck blinds.
Yes.
I know is what he's been doing a lot this summer. And man, those things really change the way you hunt. I mean, just the areas that you can hunt in and the way that you can be scent free and slip in and slip out using the corn. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens.
I definitely have bought some of those myself, and I'm definitely going to be getting a few of those up too. I mean, they are. I'm not getting old. I'm not getting lazy, but boy, they are nice. I mean, they are definitely.
Yeah, I know it's funny because before you hunt out of a box blind like that, sometimes you kind of make fun of the guys. You're like, oh, you're a sissy. The rest of us are out here suffering in the cold, and you're in your blind with your heater. But I will admit, having hunted out of them a couple of times now, it's a nice change of pace. It can be a welcome change of pace when it's super, super cold out. So we'll have to see, how Tyler does here come fall. Before we get into the next section, we wanted to say congratulations to Tyler and his wife Amanda on the birth of their first child. Yeah. So welcome to the club. Look forward to not sleeping for a while and probably having a little bit less time to hunt this fall. I know that's pretty much how my life has gone the last couple of years. No more than 4 or 5 hours of sleep at night. So congratulations to them. Todd, next up we're going to jump into 2 more hit lists.
Yep.
We're going to see Chad Stillman up in Wisconsin, and then we're going to check in with Tim and Troy here in Illinois. They give us an update before they head out west on their antelope hunt. So let's check in now.
All right, Chad Stillman checking in here from southeast Wisconsin. Last time I saw you was end of April, turkey season. Since that time, I have got some cameras out, and the local farms haven't been producing a lot of photos of big bucks. I'm changing it up a little bit this year. There's a lot of public land around southeast Wisconsin area, and I plan to take advantage of it. I went out with a buddy of mine, Seth, and we have done quite a bit of scouting, and it has been quite an adventure. We're going across rivers, we're going through thickets, trying to get to some areas where we think hold some really big deer on public land. So for this year, I'm kind of setting a goal for myself, is I'd like to try to harvest a decent buck, 3.5-year-old or older, on public land. I think it's doable. People do it all the time, and I want to take advantage of that. There's a couple bucks on the farm that I hunted 2 years ago, where I shot our buck in season 4, and I just went out there this morning with my buddy Tim, and I hung 2 lone wolf sets. So with those hung, they're in really good spots. One's in an inside corner that's a cornfield, and one is right along a field edge where kind of the corn and the soybeans come together. So we're hoping something comes up there. I also have another farm I just got permission to hunt, probably about an hour from here, northwest, in Jefferson County. So I plan on maybe putting some time in there. And between all those different farms, I also have plans to try to get on some public land. So I might kind of let these farms rest for the rut or when things heat up a little bit. And regarding early season, I might try to hit some of this public land. But public land is no joke. It's tough to access. Public land is vast. So one thing to remember, and kind of maybe a pro staff tip or something I can let you guys in on, is OnX apps for your phone is a great map application. There's multiple other ones out there. So what this does is, obviously, if it's public land, private land butts up to that some way, shape, or form. So what I've done, and it's been successful at, is I will go talk to the property owners of private land and ask them if I can use their property as an access point to the public land, and I've not been denied yet. So that's maybe a tool someone can use, and by doing that, you're just kind of going around the public parking areas and all the high pressure areas, and you're going to the back of this property that, for the exception of that private landowner, you won't have access to. So I've been doing that a little bit. I'm excited for this year. I do think that we're going to put something on the ground. I think we're going to get some good video. Regarding a hit list this year on the farms I have around here, there's probably a good 3 or 4 bucks. My number 1 hit lister, Buster, from last year, he was killed. The neighbor kid shot him maybe 500, 600 yards from here. up the hill. And so he shot him last November. Congratulations, Josh, if you're watching. It's a great buck. And there's probably about four other bucks. I don't know what I named him last year. I can't even remember because I think naming deer is kind of corny. But I know Sven is still around. I had him working a scrape in front of my stand on the stealth cam photo. Obviously, I wasn't in the stand. Probably late October. And then a couple other big deer showed up. I have a big 10-pointer that's running around, real wide 10, and another just great looking 8. So there's definitely some big deer running around that I'd be more than happy to put on my wall. So if the Lord chooses to bless us this year with a deer, we'll be excited. But this time of year, when we're checking fields at night, driving around, when I'm putting up my stealth cams, scouting, hanging tree stands, this is fun. This is half the battle. Yeah, you're battling mosquitoes and rivers and a lot of woods. Everything's thick right now, but this is the anticipation, the buildup. This tells the story. So we'll see what happens. Until then, be safe, enjoy the outdoors, bow hunt or die.
Good evening, guys. It's August 9th. Troy and I are over here getting ready for our big trip out to Wyoming here on this upcoming Friday. We've done some laundry, we're getting packed up, and we shot our bows for the last time. We actually sat down, practiced as if we were in the blind, took some shots at different distances between 40, 60, and really got dialed in before we head out west. While we were here, we thought we'd finally talk about our hit list. Justin's been all over our case. We've been rather reluctant to show the hit list.
Yeah. Let me interrupt there. Yes, he has been on our case. However, it's been by no lack of effort. We've done a lot of work this summer, and unfortunately, we're just not seeing the deer on our trail cameras at the property that we have in Northwest Illinois. But we're not worried because we've had that happen to us in the past, where we don't get any shooter bucks in velvet. We've done a lot of work. We've planted a lot of bean fields. We planted corn. I think we've got over 20 acres out there planted, or will be after this next month when we get everything else planted. So we even put the extra work in this year to put up an electric fence. It's done a great job. We have some footage that shows beans being planted at the same time, but it's got at least 8 inches of growth on it, and you can tell the deer are for the most part staying out, so it's working really well. We're going to continue doing that in the future. But to appease Justin and to get you guys all set up for what we're hopefully going to be chasing this upcoming season, Tim, why don't you start us off at the property?
Okay, so the first deer out at the property is a deer we call Rick James. We believe him to be a 3.5-year-old. Definitely a different looking deer. On one side he's got almost a palmation that comes out of his head along with another beam that comes with it. Really unique deer. Just quite wasn't big enough last year. Troy had an encounter with him and he passed him.
Yeah, he was broken up at that time. When you get an odd deer like that have just odd antler growth, it doesn't bode well when they get into the rut and they start knocking the antlers around. So those, unfortunately, he broke them off and he wasn't all that impressive, but hopefully this year he grows into something. The next deer that we're going to talk about is one we call Roman. He is a mainframe 8 with a split G2 on one of his sides. Left side. It was a deer that I actually passed. I'll admit I was debating about taking the shot. I was kind of getting myself ready, but saw him earlier in the year. And he got it about 45 yards, and I just couldn't get the shot off. But fortunately, that happened because we think he might be a 3.5, maybe a 4.5. But he should grow into something nice this year. So we're hoping to run into him. Another deer we saw everywhere. We call paddlehead, and if he continues to grow and he stays as visible as he was last year, he's in trouble. Another 8-point, not a lot of bone on his head, but a nice deer, pretty tall.
The next deer we're going to talk about is a deer we call Fabio. We know this deer is fairly old. We've had history with him. He's a really secretive deer. We don't have a lot of daytime pictures of this deer. He spends Most of his time, as far as it seems, in the night moving. We have a few daytime trail cam pictures, but just during the rut.
Yep.
Not an impressive deer at all. He's an 8, and he's not got a lot of height, and he has decent mass. But we know this deer is old, and if either one of us get a chance, I know both of us would take him.
Oh yeah, for sure. That brings us to a deer we call Clyde. I think we actually have right here a set of his antlers here. This is just this past year. I think we're thinking he was a 3.5. I ran into him. I got a little bit of footage of him. At one point, we ran into him on Turkey Hill, so we able to find both of his antlers right around that area, so we kind of got his core area figured out. Hopefully that doesn't change this upcoming year. That brings us to another deer that's in that same area. We call him Sinclair. Again, this doesn't look all that impressive, but as a 3.5-year-old, we're pretty sure that's what it was. I also caught him, just a glimpse of him on camera, and we got him on a few of our trail cam pics, hanging out on Turkey Hill again, just hitting a Tinks mock scrape that we had set up last year.
So the last deer at the property that we're going to talk about here is the deer we call Cricket, and this is our #1 all-star. A deer that didn't really show up until November and then stuck around for the rest of the year. Again, another deer that spends most of his time moving in the night, but there were a few days where he was definitely out early in the morning and pretty early before sunset during the rut around that November 5th date. A really cool deer. I mean, he's got a nice split here on both sides of his G2s, and then the same exact characteristic on the other side. So it's pretty much a mirror image on both sides. A deer with great mass.
And he's starting to grow a drop tine too.
Yeah,
right on his right side. So we've got a number of deer that just seem to be passing through, and you know, it's weird, until last year, which is year 3 of our property, we didn't really hunt it all that hard, just because I don't know if we had the area figured out. We finally had a nice clover plot planted. We got a great mock scrape set up, and that's where everyone seems to be checking in. And that's because we started that 3 years ago. We put up a Tinks mock scrape, and now they just seem to be cruising through there, and that's only 25 yards from our stand location, so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, a great location where they'll filter through, like you said, check that drip, and then head out to our main fields where they'll find the beans and corn, so a really hot spot. So that's about it for the property. Let's touch on the farm. 3 deer that come to mind are California Sunshine's one, a really nice 10-point. We thought he was 2.5, maybe 3.5 last year. Could blow up into something beautiful, and we just haven't seen him yet, but as far as we know, he's still alive. The next deer we're going to talk about is the Goat, an 8-pointer with some funky little brow tines that come up that make him look like an antelope. A deer that we think is 2.5, again, from last year. Nothing too exciting, but who knows what he's going to turn into here in the future.
Yeah, really, in the last one we've got over there is Bert. He's a mainframe 10, right? And he could be a really, really nice deer. I mean, he might have been 4.5 last year.
Yeah, we don't know.
But we never saw him. Well, we don't know if we saw him on hoof or not. We had 3 deer come out in the swamp last year. Tim was behind the Matthews. I was filming, and they just wouldn't get. I think we had one within about 80 yards as we were losing camera light. But hopefully we'll be bringing you some exciting action. In about a week from now, we'll be heading up to Wyoming. We're super pumped. We're going to meet up with another fellow pro staffer, Dustin DeCrew. He just texted me a little bit ago. We hopefully you'll be seeing us standing behind some goats here in a couple of weeks.
Exciting stuff. Until then, bow hunt or die.
You know, the fun part about watching all these, Justin, even though we're all friends, you know, I like how in Tim and Troy's episode when they refer to their other farm, you know, as the farm that I can hunt nearby. It's amazing me every year how the deer pictures they show get smaller and smaller. I think they hold back
They're
just
holding
so.
out.
I know they are. I know these guys.
You've been killing all of their deer for so long. If I was them, I would be doing the same thing. So Tim and Troy, if you're sitting on some giant photos, good for you. Don't show Todd.
I mean, I always call them, and I just always feel like I'm walking on eggshells to try to get information, but that's okay.
Hey, that's the part of the game we play, man. You can't tell everybody you're good hitless bucks. It's like showing them your cards, man.
Fair enough. Hey, you know what, Chad? Jumping out there, going to start getting into some, private land.
Public
awesome.
land. Public land.
Well, I say private, I meant public. Public land. I mean, you know what? That's. I'm glad he's doing that. I mean, he's got a couple of private land spots. He knows they produce. He sees deer there, but you know what? He wants to try something different.
Well, yeah, I mean,
go for it.
unlike the state of Illinois here, Wisconsin has a lot of great public land
It does.
up there. I mean, and as Chad said, I mean, I don't know that guys are killing, 3.5-year-old and older deer all the time, but they're definitely there. I mean, you put in the time, you put in the effort. I mean, it certainly can be done. It's not out of the question, and it adds that level of, challenge, and that's really why a lot of us are out there doing it. We want to try to challenge ourselves. That's why we are targeting the older and the more mature bucks, because it is more of a challenge to do. So throwing just yet another variable into the mix just spices things up a little bit.
And let's face it, it's always fun to do something different. I mean, tomorrow you and I are getting ready to go check out a couple different little areas. It's just fun to do different things. I mean, even though we've got stands and we're pretty much set and ready to go this fall, we've got a couple other little leads that came in that we're going to jump on and check out, and it's always fun just to check out new
Sometimes
things.
those overlooked areas can be the best spots. A little strip of trees in the middle of a field somewhere may not look like much when you're driving by in the road, but sometimes that's where those big bucks like to hang out, man. So you got to get in there and
We got a couple spots tomorrow, so let's see
find
what
them.
we're going to find.
Before we hop into the next segment, I have to comment on Tim and Troy's choice of wardrobe. Now, I don't know about you, but the hunting boots and the shorts, it's just not working for me.
I don't know.
I mean,
We'll have to let the
viewers,
audience
give us your feedback.
we're gonna
leave
post,
us your comments.
Let's post that on Facebook. And
see
let's
what we
see let's see what the ladies of our Facebook page have to say.
Athletic shorts and hunting boots.
That's awesome.
Not an attractive look, guys.
Well, next up, we got a couple more teammates that we want to talk about a little bit further south here from Illinois. We're going to start getting down to Kentucky and Indiana area. So let's join up for them, for our fans who hunt that area, and let's see what they've got in their woods.
Hey guys, man, this new farm sure is a lot of work, but we're hoping that in the upcoming years we'll really be able to reap the rewards from it. I've hunted this farm for a couple years now, and really can see what it can produce. So it's never had this high quality of forage there. It's never had the farm devoted to being deer hunting property, recreational property. It's mainly been a cattle farm, and we're hoping to change that in the future and really reap the rewards of it. We already have a couple shooter bucks there this year, and I guess we'll start there with our hit list. I'm going to call this Farm A, and then we're just going to continue on. I've got a list here that's so long of shooter bucks that there's no way in the world I could describe them all to you or give you enough time to develop history with all of them. So I'm just going to touch on 1 to 2 key bucks from each property. Alright, on this new farm, we have 2 big bucks on that farm that we believe to be 4 years old and older. One of the bucks is a buck that we're calling Big Ben. He's a big mainframe 7-pointer. Probably going to go 130 inches as 7. I know that's a big 7-pointer. Really wish he was 8, but we'll take what we can get. And there's another big bodied 8-pointer there. The only deer that he really has a big competition with. When you get them in front of the cameras, they compete a lot with each other, but all the other deer run away from them. So we know that they're at least the most mature deer in the area that's going to do all the breeding as of right now. And the other buck is a buck that we're calling Flat Top. He's a big mainframe 8-pointer. Might go 130 inches. Just a real respectable buck on a new farm. I mean, it's hard to expect the world when you're just starting out. All right, moving on to Farm B. There's a lot of history here from last season. Start off with, I passed a buck in full velvet at least 5 or 6 times. Just a beautiful 8-pointer. Had a little bit of a nub as a 9-pointer. And this year he's just blown on up. Wish that he didn't suffer an injury, but sometimes that happens. And this year he has one big crazy main beam side with a split on the end of it and a brow. Gave him the name Cyclops because of that. He's messed up something. Was fortunate enough last winter to pick up a shed off of this buck. A really respectable shed for Eastern Kentucky, and just blown away that he survived. Usually I would think that over 95% of the bucks in my area I keep pictures of, especially in late season, because I keep the food for them. But this deer was somehow able to fly underneath the radar, and I didn't have any pictures of him. But he's a big 4 to 5 year old buck that is on the hit list. Also on the hit list, I'm going to name 2 other bucks on this farm because they're very worthy. One is a buck that I transitioned to last year after the big 10 that I filmed in Velvet and was hoping to get a chase, got killed by the neighbor. I switched to a buck I call Double Wide. Well, the Double Wide had done left the farm last year and didn't really show back up until mid to late October. And by then I was switching my interest on Ohio. I was really beginning to focus on it, and he was here on my farm during the rut. That could be a possibility if, depending on how cards play out. But he's going to be a brute. I don't have any recent pictures of him. I had a couple early when he was just starting to branch out, and he looked like he was going to hold true to his name, being Double Wide. His antlers were growing straight apart. So he's probably going to be a 150-inch 8-pointer or better. Moving on, there's also a big 10-pointer here, and you guys are getting ready to see a bunch of footage of that buck, because I've just been very blessed to film this buck every day. He's a very, very nice 10-pointer. I had a couple encounters with him late season last year, and there's no excuse, but he should be going home with me, and I'm thinking that I'm going to call this buck a redemption, because I definitely would like some redemption on him. But that's 3 great shooter bucks on that farm, so now that's covering 5 shooters for you guys. Moving on to farm C, we're going to start off with a buck that I call Ghost, and that's if I hunt this farm to begin the season with. Ghost is a 4-year-old buck that I got a shed off of when he was 1 year old. We filmed him once and passed him, obviously, when he was a 2-year-old. My buddy Timmy harvested a buck that evening, and we got some good footage of him coming in. I laid completely off this farm last year, and it made all the difference in the world. I got very fortunate. Several bucks survived, and the Ghost has blew up into about 145, 150-inch mainframe 10-pointer. Despite there probably being 30, 40 trail cameras in this area in a couple mile radius, I have no clue where it goes. All right, so moving on to our next farm, we got a buck that I call Rocky. Now Rocky is a buck that I got a 1-year-old shed off of. I mean, look at that G2. That thing is probably 7 inches long, 8 inches long. It really causes him to stand out over the years. His short brows and his curl and them big long G2s, but he's a 4-year-old this year finally, and he's probably going to be pushing in 140s if he keeps his mass. Another buck that's on that farm is a buck that I call Bugs Jr. Bugs is for sure a 4-year-old this year. We let him go last year, and to be honest with you, I expected the most from him to jump this year, but he didn't. And it's just one of those things that you just got to take it with a grain of salt. They all can't make big jumps. He's going to be about 145-inch 8-pointer with a little bit of a knife point, but he's a very nice deer, and I pretty much narrowed him down. I think I could get on him towards later part of the season if I don't switch my gears too hard to Ohio. And moving on to another farm, there's a buck that I call the Super 2. It's possible these are even 1-year-old sheds, but these are the best 1/2-year-old sheds I think I've ever found. Somehow I didn't get no pictures of this buck the very next year, but thankfully he somehow survived his 3-year-old year and has showed back up on the radar this year, and he has just blown up into a big body beast. He's a bully. There's 2 or 3 other bucks there that I'm going to call shooters with him that I don't have no history with. One's a big 8, one's a big 10, but he is definitely the dominant buck over them. I got pictures of him running them off. Moving on to my Ohio farm, man, it's really my big buck haven. Really been fortunate the past couple years to get on this farm and hunt it, and there'll be several shooter bucks. Last year there was this buck right here. I passed him once at 10 yards. Know for sure he survived. He's just going to be a brute of an 8, I would say, this year. There's another 8-pointer about the same size there that survived. There's a buck I call Baby Brows. That's definitely the offspring to the big buck I killed there 2 years ago that I call Big Brows. Same mainframe 9-pointer, mainframe, big bladed brows. There's two ginormous 10-pointers there that's going to go probably 180 plus to survive. I mean, those are just dream deer. Type of deer that you really would like to one crack at. There's another big buck there that really lives on the farm that I would really like an opportunity at. He's the split G2 buck. Big gnarly bases, trash everywhere. Probably going to go 170 plus. I don't really feel he survived, but if he did, he's probably the closest thing we've got to a giant living on our farm that can make some frequent daylight appearances there. Man, I'm just really blessed this year to have a big, extensive hit list, and I really hope that I can break the ice for you guys in more than one fashion and put 2 big bucks down this year. I'm a little bit hindered to start season with. Believe it or not, I'm getting married. The first of the second weekend of season. I'm really hoping that I can have a lot of success that first week of season and try to put a big buck down. Bow hunt or die, guys. You guys tune back in and watch me try to put the smack down on a big buck here in about 4 weeks.
All right, August 10th, I'm in southern Indiana, getting prepared for the season. I'm gonna go out and hang a stand, get that ready, do a little trimming. It's a new spot that I've got picked out, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about my hit list, so let's waste no time. Let's get out there in the woods. All right, one of the bucks on my list, a lot of you remember him, I called him Hollywood. I hunted that buck several years ago. I came real close. I had a stealth cam out on video mode and got him facing some does and running. And I almost got my shot right there and then. He evaded me. I found his shed later, just one side, and hunted him the next year, didn't see nothing of him. Kind of rode him off, and then last year one of my friends on the neighboring property got a picture of him. He's still around, and I really want that buck. He's not a giant, but it's just one of those things, you get history with a deer, and it's just so cool to be able to hunt that deer and eventually kill him. So that's one of them on my list. All right, next up, buck I call Spreader. This buck showed up probably 5 or 6 times, and he was always coming in checking out a Tink's mock scrape. He's a wide buck, kind of untypical for my area. They're usually narrow and tall around here, but he's a beautiful buck. He ought to probably ballooned up into something really nice this year. Man, it's hot. But that's another one I'm going to be chasing. Got some pretty good pictures of him. He's just a beautiful buck, and hopefully he'll be even way bigger this year. All right, next up on my list, a buck I call Pincher. I call him Pincher. He's actually got 2 crab claws, but everybody names bucks like that crab claw, so I'm going to name him Pincher. This buck showed up twice after the season. I got him on 2 different cameras, 2 different areas, and not a giant again, but I'd say he's probably close to 130 anyway last year. He's one of those bucks that's in that point from 3 to 4 years old. He could really blow up, so that's another one I'll be looking for. Hopefully he's still around. He's way back in some other areas that I hunt, so that's one of those spots I wait till November to go after him, so we'll see you back there too. All right, another buck I'm after. I call this buck Hippie. Reason being, he's really, really thin in the hips. I seen this buck twice last year during the season. Couldn't get him in for a shot. And it seemed like it always happened so quick that I couldn't even get the camera on him. He's a gorgeous 10. He's got a real narrow spread. And I call him Hippie because his back hips are so thin. I thought he was 4, going to be 5. He could be older. Maybe that's why his hips are going down on him. But he's just a beautiful 10, and it's just one of those bucks that you just dream is going to walk under your stand. All right, last 3 bucks on my hit list. First buck I want to talk about, you're all familiar with him from last season, Poncho. I chased that buck quite a few times, had 3 or 4 encounters with him. Got so close every time I just couldn't get it done. Had him one time in there for an hour, locked down with a doe just out of range. Another time he came in right behind me, 15 yards, just stood there. The pine tree I was in was giant. I couldn't shoot behind me. Next time I had him come in behind me and get past me and lock down with a doe, and he was just where I couldn't shoot. And it just went on and on and on. So I never did get that buck, but I know he's back there still, so I'll be after him. Next buck, not a giant, but this one here's got a little bit of a story. I shed hunt a lot, and I found this one hanging about 2 feet off the ground in a little clump of bushes or twigs, so I named him Twiggy. Be interesting to see what he blows up into. His G3 was snapped off here. Might not be a shooter yet, but we'll see. Next buck, Twister. This is the one I really want so bad, and I looked so hard for his shades and I just couldn't find him. He's a really, really wide 7-point. Untypical for my area. We're usually narrow and tall. This buck here, he's just, I don't know, he's just one of those bucks that I dream about. And I came close twice, 2 evenings last fall. He came in right at dark and he was 60 yards out twice in a row. And I never could get it to happen, and it was all I could do to film him. He came in so late. So I decided the next morning I would hunt that stand, and if I didn't see him, since I was already there, I would move the stand to where he'd been coming out. And would you know it, he didn't come out. So I ended up killing my buck the next day, when I got last fall back where I hunted Honcho. But after I checked my game camera, the day that I hunted Twister in the morning, Honcho walked right under my stand. I had him on cam, so he got me 4 times last year. But anyway, that's the bucks I'm going to be after this year, and there's always going to be those that's unexpected that you never know what's going to turn up, especially in the big timber that I hunt, so it's hard to track them all. But I'm not done yet. I got one more on my list. This one here, if you've ever hunted an old matriarch doe, I'm telling you right now, they will tear you up, they will bust you, they will test your hunting prowess, I guess you'd call it. But if you've ever hunted an old doe, I'll tell you what, it is a challenge. And I'll tell you what, it's just, there's no better eating. Just get a doe, and it's kind of a warm-up for me. If I shoot a doe, I feel, before the buck, I feel like I don't know, it just makes me feel better about that shot when it comes time to get a buck, if I get that opportunity. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing here in southern Indiana, and we will see you in the tree.
Well, Todd, as usual, those are some great bucks those guys are chasing down there. And the one thing that you and I talked about that I'm most jealous about is not the bucks that they're hunting, but the fact that Dan can actually go out and check his trail cameras wearing a sleeveless t-shirt. I mean, if any of you guys are in the northern Wisconsin or northern Illinois or southern Wisconsin area, the mosquitoes around here are so bad right now. I literally have to wear a raincoat, gloves, pull my hood up, and spray myself down when I go out, and I'm still inhaling mosquitoes and swallowing them. They're so bad. So I wish I was like Dan and I could go check my trail cameras in a sleeveless shirt. That's my jealousy for today.
Well, we all had a few jealousies, so I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't the big bucks, but it was actually the fact that you can go out without.
Hey, I've got a few big bucks to chase as well. So, and our bucks are bigger, right?
Whoa,
maybe.
Whoa. Hey, well, one of the things about this episode, Justin and I have to admit, you start watching, you start seeing all the different teams and the deer they have. I mean, one of the goals that we had with, Bowhunter Die this year is we wanted to do a better job at kind of building this character development so you can really see the guys and all the work that they're putting in. So it's not just you're watching our show and it's, hey, I'm John from wherever and I just shot a deer. We want you to see that, these are our friends, they're a part of our team. These guys have been, with us for several years and they're working really hard to pull this together. And you know what? The best part about it is, at least with your favorite show, you don't have to worry about your characters dying off like most TV shows I watch. We're just trying to chase the bucks. Which is better.
Great. Thanks for the curse. Now we're gonna have some team members gonna die, and it's all gonna be Todd's fault. Just if that happens, this is where it all started.
No, it's like you watch Game of Thrones or whatever, and it's like oh, I love that guy, he's gone. Now it's like I love that buck, and they got him. That's cool. It's a different.
You're an odd bird, Mr. Crappy. You are an odd bird. So that's all we've got for the hit list episode, guys. Let's do some trophy photos, right? We got the people who sent in their trophy photos for this week's episode. So thanks, guys. Here you go.
Logan Smith.
Mike Cooper.
Nate Kelly.
and Junior Barker. Well, hey, congratulations, everybody. Those were some great trophies.
Great trophies. Those are some great names.
They were. I mean, Smith, Cooper, Kelly, and Barker. We can handle those all day long. So keep sending in the easy ones. Keep sending in your photos, guys. We love seeing them, and look forward to seeing some more in upcoming episodes. Now, Todd, that's all we've got for this week's show. We got another show in 2 weeks. We have our first official big game harvest of the fall.
Yes.
Tim and Troy, who we just saw in this episode, went out to Wyoming with Dustin, and Tim was able to bag a great antelope on the first day of his hunt. So,
and I think we got some other big velvet bucks. I know Tommy showed us something recently.
We definitely have some other good footage, but I believe that the next episode will finally signify the beginning of the fall big game hunting season. Hopefully from here on out, you guys should be seeing in the field hunting action from us and the rest of our team. So make sure you tune in 2 weeks for that next episode. And after that, we go back to the weekly. So make sure you guys tune in. We got an exciting fall of Bow Hunt or Die coming at you.
For more exciting action, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and receive live updates from our team members as well as the latest happenings in the bow hunting and archery world. Be sure to share your photos, stories, and experiences as well. And don't forget to pick up your official bowhunting.com and Bow Hunt or Die gear by visiting bowhunting.com/gear. We have a full selection of hats, shirts, decals, wristbands, and much more.
Amanda Hug and Kiss. Looking for Amanda Hug and Kiss. Anyone?
I don't know. Make it short. I'm going to say something about something. And
that sounds like a good plan.
Action.
You were going to start. Now
You said you were going to say something about something, and then
I know, but I said you started off.